If you're learning tech, you probably notice something. There are so many tools, libraries, and frameworks, and everyone keeps telling you to learn more. But most people never explain why these tools exist in the first place. So, in this video, I want to slow things down. So, I'll explain the core tech concepts, the real problems developers face, and then show you how tools actually help solve those problems. So, this is not theory, this is how the real systems are built. So, the first concept is state. State is probably the most important concept in application development. So, state is simply data that changes over time. But the real problem isn't the data itself. The real problem is this. So, multiple parts of your app need the same data and they all need to stay in sync. Imagine the user logins. One component updates, another doesn't. So now the UI is out of the sync and the bug starts appearing. So the tools that help are Redux, Justad. Like these centralized shared UI state, so there's one source of truth. Next we have React Query. So this handles server state data that can change without your app knowing. Then we have Redis. So on the backend, Redis stores shared state across requests and servers. Different state tools exist because state lives in different places: UI, server, backend, memory. So the next concept is caching. Caching exists because computers are fast but networks are slow. APIs, databases, and external service take time. So if you keep repeating the same request, your app feels slow and wasteful. So without caching, every page refresh hits the server again, even if nothing changed. So the tools that help, first is React Query. So caches API responses and decides when data is stale or fresh. Then we have Redis. It keeps frequently used data in memory so the database isn't hit every time. Then we have CDNs. So cache content closer to users so data doesn't travel across the world. So most performance wins come from avoiding work, not optimizing code. Okay, so the next concept is asynchronous programming. So asynchronous programming exists because many operations are slow compared to the CPU. So API, databases, file uploads, all of these take time. So if the system waits for one task to finish before doing anything else, everything feels frozen. So tools that can help are async and await. So it allows the code to wait without blocking the entire thread. Then we have promises. It represents work that will finish later. Then we have queues. So move slow or heavy task into the background. So why this matters? So basically modern apps don't do one thing at a time. So they juggle many tasks simultaneously. Then we have the next concept, abstraction. So abstraction exists because software systems are complex. So if developers had to understand every detail, operating system, memory, networking, nothing would get built. So abstraction hides complexity, but it also hides details. So tools that can help. First is React. So it abstracts DOM manipulation and browser differences. Then we have ORMs, like abstract database queries into objects. Then we have cloud platforms. So it abstracts infrastructure so developers can focus on logic. So good abstraction boosts productivity, bad abstraction creates confusion. The next concept we have is validation. So validation exists because systems constantly receive bad data. So users make mistakes, APIs change, external services fail. So bad data often doesn't crash immediately. So it causes bugs much later, so making them hard to trace. So how tools help? So first is Zord. Like it validate data at runtime and fail early. Then we have backend validators. So it prevent the invalid request from entering the system. So catching bad data early is cheaper than debugging it later. Then the next concept we have is separation of concerns. So separation of concerns exists to make system easier to understand and change. When UI logic and data are mixed together, every change risk breaking something else. So how tools help them? First is component based design. So it breaks the UI into independent pieces. Then we have layered architecture, like separates responsibilities. Then we have microservices, like split system into focused services. So this doesn't make systems simpler, so it makes them manageable. The next concept we have is scalability. So scalability exists because success increases load. So more users means more traffic, more data, more failures. So how tools help? First is load balancer. So it distributes the traffic. Then we have databases with indexing. So it handles growth efficiently. Then we have cloud scaling, like adjust resources automatically. So scalability problems usually appear after something works. I have explained this topic in detail. You can see on my channel. So you don't need to memorize tools. If you understand these concepts, new tools start making sense automatically. So tools change, concepts don't. If you want a part 2 where I go deeper into any of these, so let me know in the comments.